See, I'm gonna wait until this screen goes out on my thing. Here we go. Now let me hit the record for the podcast part, the audio. This is your number one baby daddy, MrNoGood of MrNoGood.com. Here I is on the day of the Breonna Taylor decision, and I'm trying to stick to just Breonna Taylor for this podcast. And but first I'd like to say, if you see this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you are looking at this and you have subscribed, please hit that little, there should be some kind of bell beside my name or by the subscribe button or somewhere, so you can get notifications so you won't miss it. What's up, Jay Good? I hope you can hear me just fine, because I tried the new thing with the software, tried to do it a new way, and it was already messing up. That's why I had to start over again. With this software, I just got to do the basic stuff. Subscribe. Also, hold on. I forgot one thing. Oh. All right, good. I'm clear. I thought I had some text in here. Hold on. Oh well. Ain't gonna be no text on this one, on the top. But just go to MrNoGood.com to find me. You can find me on Patreon, where you can get all the old stuff from where I wasn't doing YouTube, anything, all the old stuff from 2004 up to the present. It's only a $5 pledge, not trying to tear your mouth out. And you get exclusive content over there and video. Stuff I talk about in there that is a little bit too sensitive in here, and I don't want to catch no heat. I can talk freely in there. With this, I can talk out for everybody. First, we're going to try batch 3. We're going to try batch 3 of my apple wine. I don't have the book. Oh, yeah, I do. My journal says batch 3 was made. It started January 10th, 2020. I racked it March 13th, 2020. March. That's the middle of March. I'm around the middle of September. So this is a good 6 months. No. January to September. That's 9, baby. That's 9 months of aging. I got this one. I got these two, nice and crystal clear. Then this is the last one. This is the cloudy stuff. This was towards the bottom. This is cloudier, but it's gonna get drank. And I got all of those out of one of these little gallon water jugs. It was born and aged in here. So I wanted to wait until I was with y'all to even taste it. Now I'm buzzed already, but I had some liquor. I had some vodka. But we're gonna try this. Well, you're gonna watch me try it for the first time right now. Color's nice. Nice clarity. Smelling a lot like the apple juice that it was. And for me, that's not a good thing because batch number 2 wasn't as strong as batch number 1. Batch number 1 was fire. But this, and I see in my notes that I said when I first racked it that this tasted like batch number 2, so that's not a good sign. It tastes fruity and appley, but it tastes too fruity and too appley, and not enough alcohol-y. This is the first time I used tea in it when I was making it, black tea. Topped it off with a pint of apple juice and a half cup of 110 proof vodka. Ain't gonna be good. Gonna taste good. But I wasn't, let's see. Yeah, that tastes too good. That tastes too good. It tastes too much like juice. But we'll see. Uh-oh. Feeling a little something. It's almost syrupy, kind of. But on ice, uh-oh, I'm feeling a little bit more. Hold on. Yeah, that's too sweet. I gotta put that on ice or chill it. Women will love this, and it's still stronger than, what do they drink? Boone's Farm, or whatever women drink. This is better because I'm feeling it. Good job, batch number 3. Now let's get going. We're gonna talk about Breonna Taylor. No, oh. And the decision that they made today. Now, as I've told y'all before, that I didn't think that there was going to be any justice for Breonna Taylor. And as I had mentioned in Patreon, the details of how Breonna Taylor wasn't all that innocent. But as I said, she didn't deserve this. But I'm going to break down how it was so easy, how it was so obvious that they was going to get off, and what things came in play. There's decisions that people made. Not good, not bad, just decisions they made. There's just choices that everybody had to make along the road for this to come into what happened. Now, yeah, that wine is working. I'm going to start with a story just to make context of what I'm talking about. Some of y'all may remember my podcast last week if you've watched it. I can't remember the name of the podcast right now. Got a bit. I made a podcast called Joe Biden Can't Make It Better. I made that 3 days ago. So y'all also need to look at that Lunel little short video of me on the stage with Lunel. You'll see that on there. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Just got one with Lunel. She was feeding me some gummy worms. They were edibles. And I happened to be able to get up on stage with her. And I wanted to save that. That was on my Facebook. But I wanted to put it up on there. And I hope Lunel see it. But when I made that podcast, Joe Biden Can't Make It Better, I can't remember the exact context of how I was talking about it, but I was talking about this girl, this woman, who had hit me up wanting to come over here and get her pussy ate. She didn't want to do anything else. She just wanted to get her pussy ate. Pull her pants down, get her pussy ate, and then just go on about her business. And how I said no and everything like that. I didn't want to be bothered because I knew she had a boyfriend. Now, trust me, this is a long setup, but it's all going to make sense. It's all going to tie in. All right. I knew she had a boyfriend, so I wasn't going to eat her pussy, and I wasn't going to get to have sex with her. If I wasn't fucking, then I ain't gonna let her come over here and just get her pussy ate and leave. Fuck that. I got better shit to do. All right. A couple of days after I made that podcast, she called me. And she was talking about something, what's up with her dude that she was with, and how she was upset with him. She said she about to cut him off or something like that because they were out working out, and he kept texting somebody like 9:30 in the morning. Just kept texting back, couldn't stop while they were working out, couldn't stop. Obviously, he's texting a woman. She feels that he's texting a woman. She asks him, he says it's his mama, but won't mention that it's mama, or just show her, whatever, just to ease her mind, whatever, won't do it. So now she calling me up talking about, about to cut him off, I'm about to start dating, I'm about to do all this and that. But she started talking a little bit too much. She started telling me a little bit too much. Turns out that I found out when she texted me asking to come over get her pussy ate, she was over the dude's house when she was texting me. So she was, and what she didn't tell me is that nigga had fucked her that Friday. She texted me on a Saturday that the nigga fucked her Friday. But he didn't satisfy her. And that she wanted to come over here on a Saturday after a nigga's dick been in her, talking about, I want to get my pussy ate. She told me too much. And how when she was telling him how she was horny and he didn't he was a little bit too tired, and how she was over his house every day and how she's cooking for him and everything. I'm like, but you want to just come over here and pull your pants down? No. Point of the matter is, I don't care about none of that, but this is the point. What if I had allowed her to come over here and I just ate her pussy? However, I had a full-blown herpes bump on my lip. Full-blown herpes. Or a sore up in my gum or whatever, up inside here. Full-blown herpes. In my mouth. Then I went and gave her that firehead that she said I spoiled her with. Gave her that firehead that she wanted, was aching for. But I wasn't gonna give it. But say I gave it to her and I had a big ass herpes outbreak under my lip and she didn't know. She goes back to that dude who I know she's gonna go back to. He hits it. He catches herpes. Then whatever but he fucking with, she catches herpes. All from the busted this infected herpes thing from my lip. This is hypothetical. This is not true. I don't have herpes in my lip. You dumb motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Now, the dude would blame her. Whoever he was messing with would blame her. Because she went and snuck off getting her pussy ate when she was supposed to have a boyfriend. But she mad that he texting somebody else, but he don't know that she was texting me trying to get her pussy ate. But say everybody got infected and blame her. They would be right to blame her. However, what was the seed that planted the tree of misery, the tree of death? What was the seed of that? The seed was the herpes in my lip. Now, yes, she was wrong for coming over here to get the herpes on the lip, but if I didn't have the herpes on the lip, she wouldn't have passed it to the dude. This is all a story. Again, this did not happen for real. Like I said, this was Saturday. So now, everybody wants to blame her for messing around. But the seed, she's just the soil. The seed was me. Now going to Breonna Taylor. Everybody, some people want to blame the cops. A lot of people want to blame Breonna. Nobody's blaming the detective or the judge who signed the warrant, minus all that. Everybody wants to blame somebody, but the seed was not Breonna Taylor. She was the soil. The seed, the base of all of this tree of death was that drug dealing ex-boyfriend. That's the one who you really need to blame when it comes deep down to it. If that nigga was selling drugs and on his business, he wouldn't have been getting followed using his baby mama's car. having the dope sent to her house, and they tracking it. He messed up. And he got a whole lot of other people. He affected a whole lot of other people's lives because he, the man, the ex-boyfriend, could not handle business correctly. And that ex-boyfriend is sitting comfortably in jail, waiting to get his sentence. And he ain't had nothing to do with none of that murder or whatever. He waiting to get his sentence, and then he gonna go to jail, and in a little bit he gonna be out. Big deal. So I'm saying he's the one to blame. But this is how everything else messes. This is how everything else goes. We gonna break the rest of it down. Let's go to, first we're gonna go with a Kentucky Attorney General. And we're gonna hear what he has to say.
Evidence shows that officers both knocked and announced their presence at the apartment. The officers' statements about their announcement are corroborated by an independent witness who was near in proximity to apartment 4. In other words, the warrant was not served as a no-knock warrant. When officers were unable to get anyone to answer or open the door to apartment 4, the decision was made to breach the door. After breaching the door, Sergeant Mattingly was the first and only officer to enter the residence. Sergeant Mattingly identified 2 individuals standing beside one another at the end of the hall, a male and a female. In his statement, he says that the male was holding a gun, arms extended, in a shooting stance. Sergeant Mattingly saw the man's gun fire.
Houston, we have bubbles. Lots and lots of bubbles. Fresh sparkling water in seconds. SodaStream.
With Facebook Shops, connecting people with your business just got easier.
You can bridge the gap between...
Heard a boom and immediately knew he was shot as a result of feeling heat in his upper thigh. Kenneth Walker fired the shot that hit Sergeant Mattingly, and there's no evidence to support that Sergeant Mattingly was hit by friendly fire from other officers. Mr. Walker admitted that he fired 1 shot and was the first to shoot. In addition to all the testimony, the ballistics report shows that the round that struck Sergeant Mattingly was fired from a 9mm handgun. The LMPD officers fired 40 caliber handguns. Sergeant Mattingly returned fire down the hallway. Mattingly fired 6 shots. Almost simultaneously, Detective Cosgrove, also in the doorway, shot 16 times. This all took place in a matter of seconds. In total, 6 bullets struck Ms. Taylor. Medical evidence obtained by our team indicates that only 1 shot was fatal. Further medical evidence shows that Ms. Taylor would have died from the fatal shot within a few seconds to 2 minutes after being struck. Detective Hankinson fired his weapon 10 times, including from an outside sliding glass door and through a bedroom window. Some bullets traveled through apartment 4 and into apartment 3 before some exited that apartment. At the time, 3 residents of apartment 3 were at home, including a male, a pregnant female, and a child. There is no conclusive evidence that any bullets fired from Detective Hankinson's weapon struck Ms. Taylor. The KSP ballistics analysis did not identify which of the 3 officers fired the fatal shot. After receiving that information, I asked the FBI crime lab to conduct its own analysis to see if they reached the same results. The FBI ballistics analysis concluded the fatal shot was fired by Detective Cosgrove. Our office looked at both reports to determine if there were major differences in the procedures used by each lab that would have led the FBI to identify who fired the fatal shot. Both law enforcement agencies use similar equipment and analysis, and each lab is highly respected for their work. There was nothing our investigators could point to, nor anything provided by the respective agencies that directly explains why one lab made the call while another did not. I think it is worth repeating again that our investigation found that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in their use of force after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. Secondary to this justification, the KSP and FBI ballistics analysis reached different conclusions, creating a reasonable doubt in the evidence about who fired the fatal shot. I certainly understand the public's desire for answers, and many have questioned the length of the investigation. Simply put, we had to try every means necessary to determine who fired the fatal shot before the investigation could be completed. With a thorough and complete knowledge of all evidence collected in this case, lawyers with our Office of Special Prosecutions presented the findings of our independent investigation before a grand jury comprised of Jefferson County residents beginning on Monday and concluding today. In Fletcher v. Graham, the Kentucky Supreme Court said that the grand jury has competing but balanced functions. On the one hand, its purpose is to investigate allegations of criminal conduct and determine if there is probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. On the other, the grand jury serves to protect the public against unfounded criminal prosecutions where probable cause is lacking. The grand jury is unique in our criminal justice system because it operates independent of the court and the prosecutor. The hallmark of the grand jury is its independence from outside influence. This independence is necessary to ensure that justice is done both for the victims and for the accused. After hearing the evidence from our team of prosecutors, the grand jury voted to return an indictment against Detective Hankinson for 3 counts of wanton endangerment for wantonly placing the 3 individuals in apartment 3 in danger of serious physical injury or death. The charge of wanton endangerment in the first degree is a Class D felony, and if found guilty, the accused can serve up to 5 years for each count. Kentucky law states that a person is guilty of wanton endangerment in the first degree when under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, he wantonly engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. My office is prepared to prove these charges at trial. However, it's important to note that he is presumed innocent until proven guilty. During the last 6 months, we've all heard mention of possible charges that could be brought in this case. It's important to understand that all of the charges that have been mentioned have specific meanings and ramifications. Criminal homicide encompasses the taking of a life by another. While there are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law, these charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed, and the grand jury agreed, that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. Let me state that again. According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death. The truth is now before us. The facts have been examined, and a grand jury comprised of our peers and fellow citizens has made a decision. Evidence.
Now, have you ever heard of that the cop TV shows you've seen, movies, whatever, you've heard that you can indict a ham sandwich. That's what the grand jury is. The grand jury is not independent. They're sequestered in there with them, given full anonymity to make these kind of decisions. They're going to do whatever they can do to make sure they can go home. If you're called for a grand jury and you got to sit up there and do something, they say, so-and-so, we think so-and-so did it. All right. Where's my lunch and when can I go home and when can I get my stipend? It means nothing that a grand jury is there. Forget the grand jury. And Sonny Cracker, you came up with a lot of good points. And I'm going to get to that. Maybe I'll get to that now. But there's a whole lot of things with that word that doesn't even matter. You're gonna get whatever search warrants you need. You're gonna get whatever probable cause you need. You're gonna get whatever indictment you need because these people just want to get their check and go home. Some of you listening to this have been on a jury, maybe not a grand jury, but a jury. And thank you, Sonny Cracker. Going back to the video, when he said Sonny Cracker said should stop right there when he said that one cop entered the residence. Yeah, right. That's never happened in a warrant. Obviously, they ain't just sitting up there gonna breach the house, the apartment. One goes in and another stands by the door. Then he says later on he sees two people standing up side by side. I thought Breonna was in the bed. Isn't that what y'all heard? He shot. She was in the bed. She got shot in the bed. But you just heard the Attorney General of Kentucky say that two people are standing next to each other. They did too much. They did too much to cover this when they didn't really have to. One, they didn't knock. When they have a no-knock warrant. You know why? Because it was hard to find what time that warrant was served. I looked in all the New York Times, the Washington Post, this and that. They said, well, one night they came over. What time did they come over? So I had to do some Googling, and I can't find when they served the warrant. But I can find when she died, supposedly. And that time was 12:30 in the morning. 12:30 a.m. It wasn't one night. It was one very early morning. Why would they be up in a woman's knocking on, say, hey, they say they knocked. What are you going to say? It's 12:30 in the morning. What are they going to be? Hello, police, we have a search warrant. Hello? You think that's what happened? Why would they come at 12:30 in the morning? Why? Because they know they sleep. They didn't even know he was there. We'll get to him later. They assumed that she would be asleep, disoriented, not knowing what's going on. So they came at 12:30 a.m. They don't come at 12:30 a.m., knock on the door, and wait for somebody to answer. If you got to get up and go to work in the morning, it's 10:37 p.m. right now. I may well be asleep right at 12:30 in my bed. Somebody knock on the door. Hello? Police? That's not what happened. They banged on that door. You gonna watch this?
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground!
A no-knock warrant, flashbang grenades, and a 79-year-old man in handcuffs. But Henry County Sheriff's deputies had the wrong man, and they had the wrong house.
The Reveal's chief investigator Brendan Keefe uncovered the exclusive body camera video and the reason the victim is still waiting for justice.
All right, we're out. Go, 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 go.
We're going, we're moving.
I'm following you, Andy. Go, go, go. Go.
The Henry County SWAT team locked and loaded.
Wait for the bang. Grenade.
They've got a no-knock warrant for an accused drug dealer.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! I got this one.
8 body cameras were rolling in 2018 as the heavily armed deputies searched for their target in McDonough.
Sheriff's officer!
Something went off like a bomb in my house. I thought something was loaded up in the house.
Sheriff's officer's warrant! Yep. I need a kick. Sheriff's office!
Got that hallway, they was all over me.
Show me your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
I said, what's going on? He says, no, you get down, get down.
Show me your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground!
Grabbed my arm, twisted behind my back, and handcuffed me.
Put your hands out in front of you, sir. Put your hands out in front of you.
Anybody advised if we have the target?
79-year-old Henri Norris was not the target. Deputies had the wrong man and the wrong house.
Sheriff's office, search warrant!
I can't even imagine what he went through.
Geronimo!
If you're not safe in your own home from the government, when you've done nothing wrong, where are you safe?
Clearly nowhere. It's really sad, and it hurts even more because my grandfather has never been in any trouble with the police. He's never even had a ticket.
Henri was watching television in the McDonough home he's owned for 50 years. The no-knock search warrant was for the house next door through the woods. So how did deputies end up hitting a house with a different color, a separate driveway, its own mailbox, and another address?
Missed it.
We just got up.
Missed it.
First, the tactical team got lost following instructions from a GPS app on a phone.
Turn right on me.
Then, as soon as they got to the correct address, deputies were immediately confused.
Where's the house?
That's the house. I don't know about that house right there.
Where we at? Where we at?
They walked right past the target house without clearing it and headed through the tree line to the next house on the street. Even then, deputies were unsure.
This house? This house?
Looking back and forth at the two houses, it was too late. The entry team was already forcing its way into Henri's home.
That just like scared me to death. I already had heart trouble. I had heart surgery.
You got heart trouble. You got what? Heart trouble. All right. You have heart problems right now?
Yeah, I could have died. I could have had a heart attack.
When they finally realized they'd hit the wrong house, deputies turned their cameras off one by one.
Yeah, a pizza delivery man could deliver a pizza to the correct address.
Daryl Scott is Henri's attorney.
That's enough. You get the point. When there's a no-knock warrant, when they're serving it, they serving it. They make a lot of noise and try to shock you. Thank God that the dude got out, because he's the innocent party. He didn't know what was going on with it. But he had a gun ready to shoot. So you would ask, why would this nigga have a gun ready to shoot? Either one, he knew that she dealt with drug niggas and they may come in there and rob. Or two, she lives in an area, in an apartment complex, where he may have to shoot his way out of it. And that's the thing. You do not, as a man, don't, if the woman lives in a place where you feel you need to carry a gun, you do not need to be going over there. You need to be able to pick her up, take her to your house, get a room, whatever. And as you heard him say, there was an independent witness that said that they knocked first. Okay. But what they failed to mention is that there were 11 other witnesses that said they didn't knock. So what I would ask is, where would you be living in an apartment complex where at least 12 niggas are standing outside to watch what's going on? I don't want to live nowhere where there's at least 12 niggas standing outside at 12:30 in the morning. That's probably why he had a gun. Because there's niggas outside in the middle of the night. That's why he had a gun. And what I'm saying, it's a tragedy. Why? It wasn't a murder. It was a tragedy. Because if that nigga wasn't there with that gun, say he was at home, he went to his house that night and wasn't laid up in there, he wouldn't have caught the repercussions of what she was doing with her ex-boyfriend. He would have been at home. So what I'm saying is, the bigger tragedy would have been, well, there's 4 levels of tragedy. One layer of the first layer of tragedy, which would have been the best solution. Either the dude wasn't there or maybe he's not there. Doesn't matter. The cops bust in, he doesn't shoot or he's not there. They roll up, They hauled her off to jail for conspiracy to distribute narcotics. And that would have been the end. She would have been sitting safely in the jail, in the same jail that her ex-boyfriend is in right now, awaiting trial. She would have been sitting there right now. There wouldn't have been none of this story. That's the best situation that could have happened. The next level is what happened. These cops come in, the nigga shot. They shot back. Of course, there was only one in there. One cop in there in the first place. They shot, she died. That was awful. And it was wrong. And it was unjustified. But the common denominator was that dude just happened to be there. If he was not there, we wouldn't have had any of those problems. I know that, and we ain't heard a peep from that nigga since then. Just imagine it was you visiting a woman who's still dealing with whatever nigga, dealing in drugs or whatever. But you laid up trying to chill, watch your little TV, watch a little Netflix. Police come in and you sitting up, maybe you've been smoking, drinking. You laid up. All of a sudden you hear boom and people busting in your house. And then next thing you know, you getting hauled off to jail for attempted murder. And you didn't have nothing to do with it. And once he got them charges dropped, he was gone. Because if it was not him, if it was the ex-boyfriend that was in there, that may been one of the people that they were looking for, and he already has felonies and is not supposed to have a gun, and he shot back to the cop. Then the cop shot back, returned fire, hit Breonna Taylor, and she died. They would have charged that nigga for murder. That nigga would have been charged for murder, even though the cop shot her. They would have put that murder charge on him because he put them in that situation. When you put yourself in that situation and the police ends up killing them, they gonna charge you with murder. If you're raiding a liquor store, if you're robbing a liquor store, or you see one of your ex-homies over there, and you riding with a dude or with your homeboy, and you see some niggas that you don't like, and y'all decide to shoot, and you shoot and you accidentally misshoot, and one of your bullets goes into your partner, and he dies, they gonna charge you with murder. Because you put yourselves in that situation. I bet if they came in there and that new boyfriend who didn't have any kind of record, shot at them and they shot back and he died, not knowing why he died, not knowing that this woman he was laid up with was dealing with this other nigga who got the police to come in there on a no-knock raid. And if he died, that would have been the major tragedy. And if he died, they would have charged her. They could have, maybe not, because she was in her house. It wasn't like she was committing a crime at the time. But if they found dope in there, or if it was during the time where something was going down, they would have charged her with murder. He got out of there and did the right thing. He shut up and got out the way. And he's thinking his lucky stars that he ain't dead. So that's what I'm saying. The seed was that drug dealer nigga that she was talking about dope in jail and hanging out with. That was the seed. The soil was Breonna, who let that plant of death grow inside. Then the cop, we forgot about the cop that was shooting through the window, that they blame, that they decide to charge something on him. They use him as a scapegoat, man. Show y'all something else. And I'm gonna show you the purpose of the picture. Well, well, you may not see the picture yet, but if y'all seen the movie Harlem Nights, like I said, there were two cops in there that was doing all the shooting. Then there was this one cop that was outside, just shooting from outside, that didn't hit nothing. He hit something in another apartment. They fired him, and they heaved all the blame on him. So it's like the two with the machine guns were the cops, and the one that they charged with reckless endangerment or whatever was a dude with a pistol. I love this scene.
Stop the car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the car! Shit! Sneaky motherfucker, let's get him! Quick! I'm gonna kill you, quick! You made me shoot one of my boys in the back of the head!
There go the cop outside on the left.
And I know you had something to do with what happened to my brother, quick! Yo, man, I don't know what you're talking about! That's bullshit, man! You know what I'm talking about! You broke my nose, man! Yo, man, I'ma say it one more time! I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about, and I suggest y'all let me go on my way! Oh, really? Oh, really? I suggest you kiss my ass quick. Only way you going home is shot, motherfucker. What the hell you think you do with that little shit? Stop it! Stop it! Don't shoot that little motherfucker no more! Fuck this.
I love that scene. I loved that. But it's like they doing all the shooting, but they charged the dude with the pistol just to make it look good. That's what happens. I think I'm done. Yeah, it's 55 minutes. It's all good. I'll be coming back soon, either with the Patreon or with y'all. But this ain't gonna be the end. There's just gonna be more and more and more and more and more. Until we're numb to it. So, this is just how society is. If you've studied ancient Rome, a lot of Rome collapsed from inside. And this may be another couple 100 years. All right, Sonny Crocker. Yeah, I know it was over on Twitch. I was multi-streaming, but I only had 4 views over there. But I don't think it's gonna get much better, so we're just moving into a new era. So I just want to be one of the motherfuckers on technology talking shit. That's all. Hit me up, 330-536-3706. Go to MrNoGood.com to find everything you need. If you're having problems, because that's an insecure site, there's a link for you to get to the secure site. Like if it's hard to get to Patreon link, I've heard that some people with Droid phones are having those problems, but you know there's a link on there where you can get to the secure site. If that's what's necessary. Get on that Patreon. 250 hours, all the old podcasts and everything like that. The exclusive content, which is video and podcast, and you also get podcasts of everything that I do here on YouTube. So if you just want to play the podcast and while you're at work or whatever. Plus there's podcasts from hundreds of podcasts before that I didn't have any video to that you can listen to for only a pledge of $5. And that's my take on all this. And this is your #1 baby daddy, MrNoGood of MrNoGood.com. Signing off, baby.